One of the things that defines my graphic design career is the near score. Getting a big project and ultimately just not being able to complete the project because the client pulls out or just get ghosted or something of that nature. The project just doesn't see the finish line. One of those projects is the Baltimore FC brand identity. This was done with the Wilmington Hammerheads. They were looking to move to the USL, so they wanted to upgrade their brand identity and look much more professional and had high hopes of moving to the MLS one day. So we started out with this concept of new beginning. And the team already had an idea of what they wanted in a logo, which was a roundel, just a circle. They were kind of set on that. And they wanted to use royal blue. It was royal being a combination of their current colors of this light sky blue and navy. Mix them together, you get royal blue. They were pretty set on that. They wanted it to look like this new beginning, this fresh start. They wanted to look professional and like a high-level soccer team. And they wanted a European crest influence without any Maryland cliche. So the first thing I did was started looking at European soccer crest. That I'm looking for the commonalities in good European soccer crest, and ultimately it's about simple flat shapes. There's a lot of stripes. There's different kind of patterns happening, and mostly no soccer ball. So the next part is we start looking at other roundel or circle badges in sports. And one of the keys to success for the Baltimore FC's identity would have been to create something that's recognizable amongst all of these really established brands. So we had to stand out amongst all of those. Third thing was, even though they were really set on using royal blue, I still wanted to explore the colors in the USL and see how we could pick a color that stood out. And going with royal blue was like, it was not the most original thing. It made sense to combine the existing colors, light blue and navy. Looking at all these other teams, blue was kind of taken. It's hard to stand out in blue. So at the very least, I wanted to find a color that I could pair with royal blue and make them a little bit more interesting, a little more original. But one thing they did say that was interesting was, because the Ravens are purple and the Orioles are orange, those felt like quirky colors to them. And so they had this thought where, okay, so maybe the Baltimore sports fans can do something a little crazy. Maybe we can go for a teal or a coral. So we wanted to look at 3 different concepts. Wanted to explore something a little bit outside of the royal blue and the straight up roundel kind of look. So the first thing I looked at was the Constellation, the USS Constellation. It's a ship that dates back to the Civil War, and it currently resides in Baltimore's Chesapeake Harbor, and it's a tourist attraction now. And it was recommissioned as a national symbol in 1940. So it has some really interesting design elements, and I was really drawn to the aqua in the hull. So one thing I did on this project that was really different than what I normally do is I didn't present the team with like a logo concept, like this is one of the options that we're considering. It was more about rough ideas. It was about kind of like combining, in this case, a star or an anchor, a bee, just seeing how these different elements kind of interact and what is the right direction to go in. The second concept revolved around Fort McHenry. It's where the Star Spangled Banner was written. It has this really recognizable, unique shape that leads to great iconography for a logo. The final concept was Charm City, and it was really about just Baltimore. Like what are these iconic, recognizable symbols of the city? So obviously the flag and the pattern in the flag and the cross. Going back to the brief, they didn't want it to feel generic, but I felt like we could maybe pull the flag elements if we wanted to go that way and do something unique with it. Another thing that came to mind was the Chesapeake crab, which have like these royal blue legs. So I felt like, wouldn't it be pretty cool to just take that color of blue, that swatch, and make it the team color. So phase 2, the team kind of comes back with what they're feeling from this first round. So this first concept was a combination of Charm City and the Fort McHenry direction. Then they also were interested in exploring some different color combinations. One, they did like the idea of being like really patriotic and American and red, white, and blue. But in digging into how red combines with royal blue, it didn't work. The colors just vibrate too much. They're completely, they're not usable. But I thought, well, maybe we can shift the red. Maybe we shift the red to coral. It softens the colors a little bit. It makes for a really unique color palette, and it just works visually. So this was a little bit of a twist on their recommendation. And then the second one was combining the constellation colors with royal blue. So instead of the black and white and aqua, using aqua and royal. And this was one that I was instantly drawn to, and I felt like there was something here with this one. This looks like youthful, energetic, sporty. This was cool to me, and I was going to try and talk them into this direction if I could. So the next round of concepts were still twisting ideas, combining ideas, making adjustments. So we started looking at these two badges and considering if they live together, if it's like a primary and secondary thing. But then more ideas, just keep twisting the ideas, keep putting different sort of puzzle pieces together and see what we can get out of that. That's interesting. And then they weren't really feeling the royal blue and coral direction, but obviously red and royal isn't going to work. So what if we change the blue? What if we do our basic red, darken the blue? That looks more like the flag, and the colors work together. So we did this Fort McHenry patriotic kind of exploration. So after that, the project was canceled. I got an email that the organization was folding up, or I don't remember exactly how it was going or what was said, but basically project was off. So at that point I was pretty disappointed because I had put in a lot of work on this project. Was really liking where we were going with it. It was going to be a really big one for me to brand an actual sports team. I have, before this I had done logos for coaches and some quarterback academies, but never a team like this. So I was disappointed that it had to end this way, but I didn't want to just leave it there. So I turned this project into kind of a personal project, just a portfolio piece. Since none of this was going to see the light of day anyway, they weren't going to use it, I felt like, let me just finish this. And what direction do I feel like they should go? And I remember leaving off that they were really feeling the royal blue and white, kind of sticking with that, or the patriotic red, white, and blue. But that's not how I was going to finish this. I wanted to do the aqua from the constellation and the royal blue, and specifically the Chesapeake crab royal blue. I felt like that had a great connection to the city, and this just felt like soccer to me. This felt like it was youthful, it was exciting, just sporty. Like these were colors that people would be proud to wear. And so I started developing an idea for a pattern and doing this really bold but really simple kind of kit design. I felt like with colors like this, you don't need a lot of decoration. You don't need stripes, big heavy stripes or anything. You just kind of put a number on there, put a logo on there, and then the colors carry it. And then we never got to explore typography either, but I felt like these colors were big and loud, so it needed some big, loud, chunky typography to go with it. And that's it. I started applying the identity to different pieces, scarves, t-shirts, just seeing how it might work. And this became a portfolio piece, which I'm still pretty proud of. This is good work. It's weird for me to call my own work good work, but I felt like this is me at my best. I just put a lot of thought, a lot of work into this thing. I wanted it to come out great and be the envy of the MLS. Like I wanted the identity to be so good that they had to move the team to MLS. That's kind of what I was thinking with it. So, but now it just lives as a portfolio piece, as a case study for what could have been.